basically statistics show that about 95% of the population is going to die of inflammation, some sort of inflammatory process. So the root cause of many of our problems is just simple inflammation. And inflammation is a simple process. It's a balancing. You have to balance several things in your life. You have to balance, sleep with rest, and wake and exercise and oxygen and water, and not too much or not too little. The body is just like a garden. When you're growing plants, too much sun will burn it. Too much water, you'll drown it. Not enough, it'll dry out. Too much fertilizer, you'll burn it. So the same way, the body's the same way. It's very simple. Knowing the essential things is where I can be such a benefit to people, in knowing what are the good things, what are the right things. I've spent my whole life trying to find what is the best materials, the best supplements, the best nutrients to bring your body back in balance. For years, being a chiropractor, we're highly educated in nutrition. We spend years in nutrition. And I would tell people, they'd come in with this complaint and that complaint, and I'd tell them, well, just, here's some B6 or here's some zinc, and just take that and you'll feel better. Your symptoms should clear up. And more often than not, they weren't. And, eventually they'd come back and say, Doc, I've been taking the supplements you said, why aren't I better? And I go, oh, I'm not sure. And then as we got more advanced and learned new techniques, we were able to differentiate. There's a vast difference between the nutrients you can get in the health food store, the grocery store, the discount shops, versus what's the best available. So when you're sick, when you're having symptoms, you're nutritionally deficient. That is essential. Just like Johns Hopkins Medical Hospital, they say that when someone has cancer, they have a severe nutritional deficiency. Their body is out of balance. And I see a lot of cancer patients on a weekly basis, and a lot of them do amazingly well. I don't treat cancer. I don't treat any diseases, but I do treat people who have diseases. I help them get in balance. I've got so many patients who have going through chemo and their hair doesn't fall out, or patients of mine that are being treated for, let's say, for chemo, and they've got a full head of hair and they're a lot of energy, and they're not being wiped out and exhausted like so many other people. And the other people in the chemo centers are asking, well, what are you doing? How come you have so much energy? How come you have so much vitality? I say, well, go see Dr. Kelly. He might be able to help you out. This is the difference. So when patients come in, I get patients with no hair on their head, just totally bald. And within a month, hair starts growing back. Within weeks, they're full of energy and just start increasing. Because chemo is just such a toxic treatment. It just can destroy a lot of people. A statistic I read was half the people who die of cancer, partially half of them die of the treatment. It's just so toxic. So you have to follow what your medical doctor says, but you also have to put some common sense, put some balance in with it. When you work with a good doctor, they should be able to tell you to see a nutritionist, a qualified nutritionist, but also see somebody who does the right type of balancing, who's using the right nutrients, because there's a world of difference. And that's what I do, help figure out what people need to get well.